Little jingle. All right.
Paranormal Radio Hound. Monster Castle Paranormal Digital Radio.
That's good enough.
Is that it? Or aren't you going to say welcome to Monster Castle?
Oh, welcome to the Monster Castle Paranormal Radio.
And this is Igor. I would like to torture you a little bit. Sometimes I like to take people into the dungeon and drag them in the door. Take them downstairs and chain them up. Would you like to come down and see what I'm going to do to this person right here? He does not believe in ghosts. How about we cut off his leg? Shit. Okay, I'm getting off here. Goodbye.
Man, he's brutal, eh?
Yeah, what? My God, it sounds like he's actually torturing somebody down there like that movie Hostel.
Yeah, man. Like Igor, he wanted to do the introduction to the show, so I let him. All right. Nothing wrong with it.
So, Wolfman, since you're doing your show now, did you want to ask me a question?
I think we should just continue with your interview.
Okay, are you sure you don't want to ask me a question?
Oh, sure. I could, actually. Hang on a second here. What the hell is wrong with my sound? Check. Okay. All right. Probably should have done a sound check earlier, but first we're going to uncheck our sound. So, can you talk backwards, Daniel, from everything you've said so far? Just say it all backwards, please.
What? How am I supposed to do that?
I don't know. Backwards? I don't know. You asked me to ask you a question. That's the question.
Well, hail Satan. Yep.
That was pretty good. Hail Satan.
Yep. Worship Lucifer. Yep.
All seeing eye. Yeah. So, okay. So, anyways, yeah, we were. Daniel was just interviewing me on his show, and we're still simulcasting, by the way. And we also have Gigi from Shift Happens here. All right, can you give us a big hand from Shift Happens? Oh yeah, baby. Gigi, are you there? Hang on. Gigi?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Hello.
Hey, I've got a question for you.
All right.
Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin?
That's not actually a question. What about them?
I'm saying, which one?
Sinatra.
Oh, I like them both, but, you know... for singing, for sure. Frank Sinatra all the way. Yeah. But I like them both.
Yeah, I'm a Sinatra man myself. I mean, I like Dean Martin too, but...
I'm sure Sinatra would kick Dean Martin's ass.
I believe so too, yeah.
Or he'd have his gangster buddies chop his head off and stick him in a dumpster.
Exactly. He just a couple phone calls away and he can make that happen.
I don't know. Maybe he might. I know a certain person he probably would get to do that.
What's up, Doc?
I mean, cartoon. I mean,
What's up, Doc?
That's who I would hire. I would hire Bugs Bunny. Because
Do you guys remember when Bugs Bunny would dress like a woman?
Oh, yeah.
He was always doing that. I think he has some kind of problem.
Okay, here, I'll give you a skit. So, are you married? Do you have a marriage certificate? Do you have a hunting license? Wait a minute. Daniel, do you have a hunting license?
No.
Do you have a hunting license? Do you have a driver's license?
Are we about to start doing that? It's duck season, it's rabbit season thing?
No. Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Do you have a marriage license?
No.
Oh, then maybe you and I should hook up.
That sounded like Woody Woodpecker, not Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, I know, but it's still the same humor.
But do you remember the really old Bugs Bunny when he had that smooth, round, creepy-looking face?
What's going on here? Oh, that's Cortana. Hang on. Oh, man. Okay, hang
Yep.
on.
Here.
Wolfman, turn your fucking robots off.
I know, I'm trying to. Hang on.
It's you might just hang up on her and then we'll have to bring her in, I think. Unless, I don't know, that's how it usually works over here. Are you able to just bring her in?
Turn your sex toys off.
She has to. Yeah, now I can.
All right.
I'm really sorry about my sex toys, but I get really boring when you never get a word in edgewise, and I end up starting to have to, masturbate over and over while I'm on the air, and it's 50 cents, 50 cents. It really adds up,
That's why we were getting all that feedback earlier, because you had your freaking vibrator on the cord.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, masturbation is only 50 cents and murder's $100, but you gotta pay for your sins when you die,
Who the hell was that? Ricky Ricardo?
It's Father Guido.
Oh.
Father Guido Scargucci. Whoa. Somebody's being abducted. That's not me. Cortana.
Yes, I'm here now, finally.
Right on. I thought you were...
Is that a robot?
No, she came in with a spaceship, I think it sounded like. It was pretty cool. Yeah. It sounds like they're still putting a ray gun to your head.
Hello, mysterious female voice.
Hi, so this is Shift Castle now.
It's actually
Gigi
end.
here?
It's the end.
Where's my co-host?
End of
Yep,
Shift
I'm here.
Castle. The end. That's what I'm calling it because we've got end of days. We got Shift Happens and Monster Cat. So that end of Shift Castle.
We've got a three-way going.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Oh my god,
It's
it
about
feels so
time.
good. Oh,
That's your first three-way too. It's my first three-way too.
oh my god, Wolfman. Oh.
Aren't there more people in here?
We got Daniel from End of Days Radio here, and you got Wolfman Mike
And then there's Gigi.
and Gigi Rabbit and
And
Cortana.
then me, and that makes 4.
All right. So tell us about. How about you tell us about yourself, Cortana? How did you get interested in the paranormal?
Oh dear. My whole entire life is the paranormal, honey, trust me. I mean, there's not a time where I remember things that weren't paranormal happening around me, As far as
Tell us
paranormal
about-
talk radio course goes, I think I was like a preteen or something when I discovered Art Bell's, the end of Art Bell's, show when it became Nori's Coast to Coast AM.
So
Around there.
that would make you about
So-
approximately how old, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 287.
So you
Yeah, but she turns
obviously-
288 next week, though.
But she obviously has learned the secrets of white monatomic gold powder.
287?
Yeah.
Is she a
I
vampire?
am not.
Yeah,
And I am
we've been
not telling
studying
Al.
magic and alchemy for the last couple of years. And,
Okay,
yeah.
but you don't drink the blood of infants, I hope.
we try not
A
to.
little too gamey.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, sometimes
we
if
like
you got
the
the right
free range
spices.
first. we like them to grow a little free range first. So, especially if they're vegan, only feed them vegetarian feed and let them free range, free range hippies. We want to make sure that they have a happy life before, we take it.
Right.
Anyway, but
Yeah, we go to Burning Man every year to recruit.
Do you burn people there?
You guys doing LSD and mushrooms and stuff like that? Going to Burning Man?
We've actually never been to Burning Man, but we've certainly had more psychedelic experiences.
More psychedelic experiences than
yeah, we're like psychedelic
we are
Jedi masters.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Nice.
And you know what I recently discovered, actually, is that it's so fun to trip with someone who is brand new to tripping. Last week, we did a trip with my godmother and her best friend like never ever had like any tripping experience at all ever. And so everything's just so like fascinating and new to her, while like me and my godmother, who went to Burning Man, who used to go to Burning Man before she got terminally ill, everything, we have our own like trip routine. We have certain things that we already got planned that we do during trip time, and certain videos we watch during trip time. But to show someone else for the first time, that's very fun.
So I'm sorry, Wolfman kind of sprung this on me. He's kind of out of control here. Do you guys have a show, a podcast?
Yes, called Shift Happens.
Yeah, I thought we are very similar, like the way these guys and you and I are. I figured we all should get together and meet because
most definitely
very similar sort of groove going on in the shows.
Yeah, I think I wanted to go for Gigi and I wanted to go for like a more relaxed kind of groove, like not taking. I mean, be totally professional, but not take ourselves too seriously, and that's why our name is Shift Happens, because it sounds like shit happens, and that's hilarious. It brings a smile to everyone's face when they
how
hear it.
How long have you guys been doing this show?
This show, we got it up and running around after much like planning and drama and craziness, but probably we did our first episode last year in December.
Did I heard that Gigi, did you used to work as part of what's his name, Jimmy Church's show in some way?
Well, I mean, I've known him for a few years now. And,
we kind of belong to the.
Yeah,
we go to Contact in the Desert and other events. We're more or less like the like, we don't work on the show, but we do help them out when they go to conventions and stuff like that. We're the Fadernauts, so to speak.
We're the Fade to Black team, I guess, and he's certainly. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have our show. But before this, though, we also last year I was a co-host on Beyond the Strange with Dave Cruz, and that's kind of what got my start. And then Cortana came along towards the end there, and was with the show as well. And then, a lot of, I can only describe as middle school drama bullshit went down between not just, I love Dave to death. It wasn't Dave. It was another person that shall remain nameless. And just a lot of people got really upset for all different kinds of stupid reasons about what me and Cortana wanted to do, to the point where, like our other co-host, from Beyond the Strange, he was like, the godfather of Fade to Black for years, and he was involved in he helped everybody else's show, and then he got so fed up with all the drama that he just he's totally not even in the industry anymore. I don't know if you can call it an industry, but he's not totally removed from the community. Like, that's how
why was
bad
there drama?
it got.
What were people complaining about? Why was there drama?
Our name.
Well, here's the thing: is
our name.
So
which was
um,
purely
one
coincidental. But anyway, it was so stupid, and I held my ground.
and I'll explain, and I'm glad Cortana, because I was wanting to change the name, but I'm really glad Cortana convinced me not to. And but here's what happened is, um, so one of the producers at Beyond the Strange, not Dave, it's another guy. He had been talking about doing a podcast called Shift, and it was an acronym. It standed for something, but it was S.H.I.F.T. Like it wasn't, it standed for fuck. I forgot. I forgot what it standed for.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Not
and so
memorable.
and then me and Cortana were just talking one day, and literally, I mean, we tossed like one
And I
other
had no
idea
idea
out,
about
and
this. I
yeah,
had no idea about this name or what even this producer was even planning at all. Like me, I come from the games industry, and so before you name a game, like you need to make sure that this whole idea or the name or the title has not been, used already. And so I did a Google search, and I was like, oh, nobody has, the name Shift Happens. So I went and I grabbed like all the social media, all the Spreakers, all the Facebook,
the
everything,
website.
the domain name, to make sure that like we had this shift locked down.
Yeah, and so, but what happened is, he, he had been talking about doing this podcast for like 4 years, but he never did any, he never started, he never did anything with it. But anyway, so we completely arbitrarily, Cortana came up with the name Shift Happens, and immediately he was just like, yeah, that's perfect. But then, all hell broke loose, and
He's like,
and
wait, you stole a name, and he was like trying to like, he was so like he was threatening me,
yeah,
and
I mean,
because
he
I'm
was
a small
really.
little girl.
Oh, okay, wait,
Because I'm
hold on a
small,
second. Hold on,
like,
hold on
And-
1 second.
But
So,
it's crazy though,
wait.
because
Hello?
their
Wait,
thing
wait,
is
wait,
an
wait.
acronym,
Hello?
Shift,
hello,
and our show
Hello?
is called.
Yeah.
hello.
Daniel's
hear
trying
me?
to get in here.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
But,
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting a
really-
little bit. I'm
Just,
getting
like,
a little bit
static
confused. So
something
it's
on
my
it.
understanding that you guys wanted to start the show Shift Happens, and somebody was already planning on using that name. Do I have this correct?
No. See, they
I
were
can't
trying
hear
to their name that they had was an acronym, and it was called Shift, like S.H.I.F.T. and it standed for a whole thing, like it was an acronym, and it was just Shift. Ours is, we want to call our show Shift Happens, and it never even crossed our minds that there would be any conflict with that. That's like if you had a skate shop, or I don't know, let's say you had a baseball accessory shop, right? And one store is called the Ballpark, and then there's another shop has an acronym for ball. It's just called Ball, and it's B.A.A.L.L. Like it's completely unrelated. It's completely not the same. And then and he started like bitching it. Like he said some pretty unforgivable shit to me and Cortana, and he was and then he was like kept talking about how like his podcast, and I'm like, what podcast?
There is no podcast,
What
that
podcast?
he's doing.
You've
None.
been talking about it for 4 years. You haven't done any. Like, you don't have a podcast. Like, I don't know. It was just, it sucks because a lot of friendships and a lot of bridges were burned. But
Okay, I'm more
ultimately,
interested.
and then it also caused, because I was going to co-host another show with a good friend of ours, which we all know, but I'll just I'll
But
just
yeah, that's
leave it blank.
that's
But
irrelevant to the story.
yeah, well,
But we have our own show now. 'cause-
Exactly,
okay, so,
and I'm glad it all fell apart, and I'm glad I didn't end up posting that other show because I think we found our thing here, and I'm very
yeah,
happy with
because
what
he
we're
brought
doing.
it up to me. He
So
brought
are
it
you
up
guys-
to me, like, hey, let's do a show, and the way our dynamic is, I believe is we're kind of like the Ricky and Julian of the paranormal. If you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't
great
like
analogy.
you talking about me again because Julian he took all my booze again. Like what's going on, eh? What the hell's going on, eh? I'm gonna go take some mushrooms. Where's Lucy? Hey.
So are you guys a married couple?
No, we're just really great friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. What I really want to know is what, like, our backgrounds on paranormal. Like, for instance, Daniel, what was your first paranormal experience? What made you interested in the paranormal?
Okay. Well, it all started from childhood. It's really hard for me to remember the exact first paranormal thing that happened to me, but it happened to my parents when I was a really little kid. I remember my mother seeing a UFO out the window, and she got into it because of that. She started watching shows like Unsolved Mysteries, which used to scare the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah, don't watch that in the dark.
Yeah, that you guys remember that theme music for Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah.
How iconic, right?
Dun.
Yeah. And then at the end, they'd show those gray aliens that looked like freaking puppets, and they just looked scary as hell. Like those gray alien puppets. I hated those.
Oh man.
But that's how I initially got into the paranormal. I mean, that's not how I got into the paranormal. That's the first paranormal experience that I've had. So I hope that answers the question.
What did they look like again?
There was no they. I'm talking about the puppets at the end of the show, the beginning of the show, Unsolved Mysteries. At the end of the song, the theme music, they would show these puppets that were gray aliens, and they were like abducting somebody, and it used to just scare the crap out of me when I was a kid.
I don't remember that. So that's
maybe it might have been at the end. It might have been in the outro. I can't remember, but it was definitely Unsolved Mysteries. Huh. And wasn't it like William Shatner was the host? No, that was Rescue 911. I'm sorry.
No, William Shatner does one called Weird or What.
But
well, I mean, like back in the day in the 90s, it was something else, because you remember that voice, that one guy's voice. Somebody get Wikipedia up and running and see see who hosted that. Now I'm curious.
We need WikiBear.
Are we roundtabling? So who's going next?
I mean,
okay, but that wasn't an actual ghost or a UFO. I want to know what you actually saw first. Shadow people, ghosts, UFOs, leprechauns, fairies. Did you have a missing time? Do you think you were abducted? Anything weird?
So you want to know the first time that I saw something with my eyes that
freaked you right out and you knew it was real. This shit is real.
Oh, okay. Again, it would be when I was a very small child and my mother was having these UFO experiences, seeing UFOs. I happened to see them a few times when I was, standing next to her. So I was looking out the window, or we were outside. It was so long ago. I was just a little kid. So that would be technically the first time that I ever saw something.
Huh. Okay. Heavy chopping. I'm going to have to check my feed. I don't know. Dennis is telling me you're chopping out your audio from the chat room. That's Dennis Dyke. Shout out to Dennis.
That's your issue. My shit is fine.
Okay,
that's your
well,
issue.
I'm not going to worry about it then. If it's coming good on your end, then it doesn't matter.
Pick that later, Wolfman.
Yeah.
You're on my time, buddy. Now, Cortana, what was your first paranormal experience?
Like I said, my entire life is a paranormal experience. Okay, I was raised by, psychic intuitives for I'm part Native American. This stuff is just normal to me, so it's hard for me to pinpoint, this is real, because I was brought up, this is real. There is no, I would, as a child, I would lucid dream, and then, I would talk about my dreams, family discussions about dreams are just normal and, taken very seriously. And I've been able to lucid dream. I'm trying to get out of lucid dreaming because it's very exhausting. I've had out-of-body experiences all of my life. Sleep paralysis. It's yeah. It's just a normal everyday thing since I was a child. And also to get rid of sleep paralysis, there's a way to do it, and it's really not that mystical. But if you like, it becomes normal really if it happens to you a lot, I guess. So there's no one instance I can really pinpoint.
So did you
Because
ever
I've
see?
always had nothing but synchronicity, and of course, my family is really spiritual, especially on my mom's side. She's Native American, yeah.
Have you ever seen a Thunderbird?
Miraculous healings and stuff.
You ever seen a Thunderbird?
Probably, I don't know. It depends. I'm Apache, so I'm more in the southwestern region of the United States. We're desert dwellers. I don't think I've ever seen a thunderbird, no. I have seen some very large chickens, though.
All right.
And ducks.
Chupacabra. What about skinwalkers?
That's more of a Navajo thing. But you can
Yeah, that's
shapeshift.
like American Southwest.
Yeah. But I was
Hey,
never raised on a reservation, so a lot of that, like, I guess superstition, or not superstition because it's still normal, but a lot of that kind of mythology I wasn't too exposed to. But I've seen, my mom is an exorcist. I've seen her perform exorcisms before as a child, and yeah.
So if somebody's possessed, could you help them out?
I don't. That's not my thing. That's her deal. Because she's more of a Christian mystic. I'm not. I've decided to go for since I was able to figure out that the Bible was bullshit.
Oh my!
I've been in a search for getting connected with my native indigenous animistic roots, which I still am. I'm more of an animist. I don't really, but these things are real.
And I'm sorry. Like I said, if Wolfman would have told me, I would have looked you guys up and been much more prepared. But who is your co-host again? The gentleman that's with us.
Gigi. That's Gigi
That'll
Rabbit.
be me.
Gigi.
Gigi.
Okay, Cortana and Gigi. Oh, okay, Gigi. How about you? What was your paranormal background?
Yeah. Okay. So, but before I get to that, Mike. I've got my other computer here, and I pulled up the show, and I was listening to it on my laptop, and it is coming in like super choppy, like pretty
Really?
unbearably so. So maybe if you just just end this, like just
Yeah,
quickly,
I'm
just
gonna have to
end this
end this one and
Spreaker
start it.
episode, and then launch a new one. That might
Yep.
fix it.
Yeah, that's weird. That sometimes happens lately. I don't know what's doing that. But yeah, I'm going to end that broadcast.